Okay, back with you. Kind of got a little ahead of myself here, but as you can see, I flattened the center bracket, light bracket support. I just took it down to the bench vise, the anvil part of it, and pounded it down flat. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, the paint will chip off, and I'll touch that up. I touched it up with a marker. It looks a little better, but I'll touch it up better. But I could have gone ahead and flattened this as much as possible, but then I'd have to put a torch to it, so I didn't work harden it. If you work harden the metal, it'll just, at some point, it'll just crack on its own because it becomes brittle as you hammer and hammer and hammer. But if I heated it up, then it would discolor all the paint all around. So I just left it this way. Nobody's ever going to see that. That's fine. And then that gives us a nice place to put our LED. Okay, sorry about that. Figures a sales call would come in. But anyhow, we got a nice flat surface for our LED light strip now. We can fasten that. But before we put that on, I want to investigate further this. I'm going to put it on just to see what happens. Our collector assembly. So we want this part here with the hole in it facing the center. So let's just pop it in and see what happens. Looks like it's easy in, easy out. Use a little assistance here. There it goes. Oh. There it is. Very good. Looks like it's rubbing on the axles. Okay, just to be sure, got the meter out here. We should have continuity between this rivet and any of these four wheels here, the axles. So this rivet is the side that touches the axles. So we'll see if our meter beeps for us here. Yes, it does. Very good. Nice shaky hands here. There it is. Alright. And we should have no continuity between this axle and this rivet, or the roller. Okay. We're in good shape. All right. Okay, well, we're back with you. It's been a few days. Things happen. But anyway, we're back with our pickup assembly here. Gotta attach our wires. This is that flexible wire, remember? Super flex. So we'll get a couple lengths of this out again. Alright. Strip a little bit off. That looks good. Cut a little bit off of there. We'll get a second one just as long. Alright. Very good. Get that out of our way for now. Alright, might as well strip all these while I'm at it. Wow, this doesn't want to go in the right place. There it is. Do this side. Very good. Very good. Give them a little twist. Thusly. Alright, set that one aside for now. And what I want to point out with these pickup rollers is I bent this tab a little further in a little more than 90 degrees. And the reason for that is, I'll show you here. We put this in our truck here. Okay. Try to get this out where you can see it. You can see that hole. Maybe we need more light here. That hole is just above the axle. And what you don't want is your wire rubbing on the axle, because that's the center pickup. You don't want it hitting the axle and causing a short. So if I bend it further in, and what I'll do is I'll take this wire and when I put it in here, I'll also let the insulation go through the hole and solder it to the flat surface of the tab there. I'll show you in a moment. But yeah, if I left it the way it came, that hole would be facing the axle. So just a slight adjustment, no big deal. Oh boy. Okay, get this out of the way. Where's my zoom at here? Am I too far in? Too far out? There we go. Okay. So what I want to do first, this is a 320 grit, they call it. Scotch-Brite wheel, red in color. They have many different colors. The brown are 120, the green are 180, red 320, and the black is 400. They rate it like sandpaper, but it's a Scotch-Brite wheel. Well, we want to clean this now. Let's put it on low. Give her a little scrub here. Just a little bit. That's all I need. And then this one will clean that up a little bit. That looks nice. Alright. Now I'll show you what I mean here. I'll just put this in through the hole here. And also some of the insulation. Just like that. Just a little bit. Alright. Then we'll take some of our flux paste here. Get some on the wire, get some on the brass here. Just like that. Then what we want to do is pinch it into our holder here. Alright, that should work good. Turn our soldering iron on. Now what I want to talk about here is make sure you have some kind of heat sink. This clip will act as a heat sink. Otherwise, that rivet in there, it's just like this one. Within seconds of this brass heating up, that rivet will melt right through that thin plastic. So make sure you have some kind of heat sink to pull the heat away from the brass here and that rivet, just to protect that from pulling through. I speak from experience. I've done it before. As a matter of fact, we could add a second one. Just like that. The better you can do that, the better you'll be. Alright, then we'll get our solder. And also make sure you got a nice clean soldering iron tip. You need that. Yeah, it's nice and hot. And if I can not shake too much, I lost my position here. Put a little bit of bracing under there. Just so as I push down, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay. There we go. That's all we need there. Don't take the clamps off yet. Let them do their job. Pull the heat away. Just don't get the solder here, because that's attached to the roller pickup. That has to move back and forth within that slot, so stay away from filling that hole. Alright. And then while it's sitting here, we'll get our second wire here. Dip it in our flux. This one, okay, this one here, sorry about that, I got a phone call. Got our flux on there, it's all nice and clean. Let's try to grab it here. Hold it right there. It's just laying in a crease there. Alright. Let's go back to our soldering iron. And there we go. Didn't even have to use it. There was enough on the iron to do the job. So, alright, let's take it out of there. That's in there nice. We didn't lose our rivet. That's still nice. Still got our springy. Oh, I'm not even in the camera range, am I? We're still good here. Our wire's good. Nice and tight. Good solder joint. Still got our spring action here on our roller. So the heat sink did its job. No melting on that side, on either rivet. Alright, that's cool enough. Take that one off. That one's nice and soldered tight. Very good. Now for this one, just so I know which one's which. It's not that hard, but to follow. But it's just easier if I mark the center wire, the center pickup roller wire. Just a little bit of white. This is white out. That's all we need, just a little speck of white on there, just so I can put it in the right place. Alright, I can turn this off. Move that out of our way. Turn off our soldering iron. Put our solder away. Put our flux away for the moment. Alright. Then all we need to do here, get our wires threaded this way, underneath or above the axles, depends on how you're looking at it. Alright, there it is. Now that center pickup. See if I can get some better light on that. Yeah, the center pickup isn't going to hit that axle now. Alright. I spin that around. Put our wires up through here. Alright. Now, if we did this right, we'll do a continuity test. Alright, so if we put it in this, in our center roller, touch that white wire here, that worked. Very good. Now if we touch the wheels or axles, it shouldn't be. Alright. Oh, I touched the roller, that's all. Okay, good. Alright. Then if we touch the wheels, very good. Got continuity between the axles and the other end of the wire. If we touch the roller, it shouldn't make any noise. Very good. No noise. Excellent. So we know our circuit's going to be great. No shorts. Turn that off. Alright. So then our next mission, having that all done, will be to mount the controller somewhere and our LED strip. Now we can get all fancy and make sure this is perfectly in the center, but we got a hole here and a hole here. So we can pretty well center that right across there. Make sure it's there. Alright, that's perfect. So what we'll do, one more job before we put the tape down. Take some alcohol, swab here. Make sure that's nice and clean. If there's any dirt or dust or anything on there, I mean, that isn't the best adhesive on that LED tape, so and then before I do anything more. I'll pull this back out and wipe those where I soldered. I'll wipe that with alcohol just to get the flux off of there. Yeah. You don't want to leave it on there. Probably wouldn't hurt. In 50 years it might start to oxidize, but it's all right. Alright. That looks like that's nice and dry. Am I in the camera? Yeah, alright. This can be a pain sometimes. Well, we'll take our knife, see if I can separate it. There we go. That's what the back of that tape looks like. You can see the wire traces. You can tell where the resistor is. Alright, we'll just line that up there. Come across. Alright. Take our Q-tip and just rub it around a little bit. Get a good contact everywhere. Alright, that's mounted. Okay, now for the next part we'll mount the controller and solder our wires together.